What's up, guys? So in this video, I will rank all 10 MCU Disney Plus projects. This is my personal ranking, and it will not include I Am Groot. I don't think it's fair to include I Am Groot because they were not full episodes and they were more so shorts, so I'm not going to include them, but let's get started on the TV shows. Coming in at number 10 is She-Hulk. She-Hulk was the biggest disappointment out of all the shows. I think it started off pretty decent the first 3 to 4 episodes, but it really felt like the writers just did not know what to do with the show once we hit the halfway point, and that sucks because this show had some interesting characters in it. I loved Pug, Titania, Nikki, Mallory, and Luke Jacobson was a delight. This should have been a Disney Plus special versus a TV show. Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk was a positive casting choice. I think she did an exceptional job as She-Hulk. It's just the people in the writer's room just kind of fell apart. I would have loved to see more of Titania, but instead, it seems like they just dropped her in for some random comedic relief instead of really getting us invested into her story. So for those reasons, I'm putting She-Hulk in last place. Coming in at number 9 is Werewolf by Night. Now, I was really looking forward to this special because I like the darker side of things. Vampires, witches, warlocks, ghosts. But it took me like 6 times to watch Werewolf by Night. Those first 30 minutes was so hard to get through because the pacing was so slow. The second half was good. And I did enjoy the gladiator style mission to get the Bloodstone, but the pacing was so hard for me personally to push through first 30 minutes. So unfortunately, number 9, we got Werewolf by Night, and it's just solely based off of pacing of the first half. The Guardians holiday special, I would say it wasn't for me. I don't think I was the target audience. I don't think that the show was bad. It just wasn't for me. Mantis and Drax together is always a pleasure. I did enjoy seeing them roam about LA looking for Kevin Bacon. Rocket getting Bucky's arm is definitely a mystery I'm ready to be solved. Those were some cool things going on. Some of the musical numbers I just didn't really enjoy. The Guardians are never on the top of my list when it comes to MCU content. I'm just not a lover of James Gunn. I didn't really like his DC content either, but I'm happy for the Guardians fans because I know they love this special. This special received such rave reviews, so it's obvious it was good to some people, but it just wasn't my flavor. So we're putting the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special at number 8. False Promises is a big reason Loki is on the latter side of this list because similar to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, this show was pitched as something that it wasn't. They told us Loki was going to be about Tom Hiddleston time traveling through different periods, altering the past. I thought we were going to see Loki like standing next to JFK or something like that, but we didn't get much of that. It sounds like that's possibly what season 2 is going to be leaning more into, like going into the past or maybe even the future, altering events. Now, the first episode was probably one of the best episodes of MCU Disney Plus TV. That first episode was great. It started off super strong, but episode 2 and 3 just kind of fell off to me. This really should have been a 4-episode project because a few of the episodes felt like fillers and it felt like they may not have been as needed. A lot of people rank Loki so high because we actually got to see the big bad in He Who Remains, the Kang variant. And the whole season, there was speculation on who was running the TVA. Was it a King Loki running it? Was it Kang? Was it Renslayer? So when we finally got the reveal, now, I must admit, that was good. The reveal of He Who Remains running the TVA was just almost perfect. Jonathan Majors does no wrong in my book. I loved his performance, but the finale was a lot of exposition and a short fight that was kind of anticlimactic in the moment. Now, for the long haul, it was great because we know what Sylvie did caused a major ripple effect. However, this project in isolation, it just didn't end well to me. We really only needed 4 episodes to tell this story, and I think I probably would have put it higher up on the list. Coming in at number 6 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, this show seemed like it had the biggest budget of all of the shows. Like, it really felt like a movie at times. It had some pretty good cinematic moments. John Walker was great. like, I disliked his character so much. That's always a plus. That means the actor is doing such a good job to make you hate him. So John Walker was good in this role. Bucky had such a good story. Dealing with therapy and getting deprogrammed by Wakanda was great to see. The biggest disappointment in this show was the writing of Falcon. This show was originally pitched to the audience like Falcon would be dealing with the ramifications of race and taking up the shield. But then when it was time to deal with race, it came across so shallow, like they were scared to touch it. I would have liked this more if they just would have thrown out the whole race/social issues, because when you're confronting racial issues, I think you have to go all the way or just don't touch it at all. Sam seemed completely oblivious that he was a black man. When Isaiah Bradley was trying to talk to him, he was so dismissive, like, oh, that's back in your time, bitter old man. And with Sam being a man from the South, I just found that commentary to be off-putting and unrealistic. I think if you wanted to make Sam seem that he was distant from racism, or maybe he didn't really feel the effects of it, just make him 100% conservative and give him someone to be a foil of, similar to Killmonger and T'Challa. So the poor handling of Sam is the main reason why this is number 6 on my list instead of lower. Now we're on the side of the list of the shows that I enjoyed. I liked What If. Some of those episodes were pretty entertaining. I enjoyed, of course, the Doctor Strange episode, which was a precursor to his movie Multiverse of Madness. It kind of set the stage of what we could possibly see in the movie, so that episode was so surprisingly dark. I remember watching it at like 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, okay, kids should definitely not be watching this. So that Doctor Strange episode of What If was just, yeah, that was pretty good. A lot of people did not like Thor's episode, but it was so fun to me. Also, seeing how strong Vision Ultron was impressive as well. So it was a decent show. I enjoyed What If. The voice acting was great. Whenever they couldn't get the actual actors back, the replacement voice actors did an excellent job. The guy who played Tony Stark was pretty identical. I couldn't even really tell much of a difference. So coming in at number 5 is What If. Number 4, we have Ms. Marvel. This show taught me so much about the partition. I'm a lover of period pieces, and I had never even heard of this time frame in history. And this show sent me down a rabbit hole of learning so much more about the partition. I love learning about Kamala's culture. Her 2 friends fit right in. I enjoyed them both. The animation styles that the directors decided to play with were so visually pleasing. I adored this family. The brother, the sister-in-law, mother, father. Dad was so warm and charming. Now, I don't know how they're going to handle him moving forward, because he's involved in a very dangerously messy scandal, and I'm interested to see how Disney handles this. Now, the villains in this show, they did fall short. Kamran's mother trying to get home by any means necessary just was not fleshed out enough. They were banished from a particular dimension or realm, but yet they were fighting so hard to get back in. And I wish we could have learned why. I wish we could have learned a lot more about that situation. All in all, I enjoyed this show a little bit more than expected. The trailers had me believing this was like a teenage kid show, but they actually dealt with some adult themes, and it was definitely worth the watch. Moon Knight was definitely a solid project. I enjoyed the mystery around this series. I think Oscar Isaac put on one of the best performances of this year. He didn't get an Emmy nomination. These Marvel shows rarely get them, but he definitely deserved the look. I also wish when they discovered the tomb, it would have been Ramatut's tomb. What a great way to try and tie all these things together, but I understood they wanted this to be completely about Mark Spector. His supporting cast was great. They wanted all eyes on him and his journey and this story, so I respect them not bringing in the Kang variant Ramatut. Oscar Isaac's ability to jump between 3 different characters was outstanding to watch. Such a good actor. Ethan Hawke was such a convincing antagonist. Him being this quote-unquote leader of this religious faction, this passive-aggressive charismatic cult leader was on the nose and so fun to watch. Layla being a new character slash superhero was a good reveal as well. Khonshu being the biggest manipulating bully ever, that was just great to watch. So I really enjoyed Oscar Isaac and his team and this Moon Knight show. It was such a pleasant watch. Coming in at number 2 is surprisingly Hawkeye. Now, Hawkeye surprised me. I had severely low expectations for it, and maybe that's why I ended up enjoying it. The opening scene and flashback to the OG Avengers was a great intro. Kate Bishop, wow, straight off the comic book page. Echo was also a pleasant surprise as well. I'm so excited for her upcoming show. It seems like they've ran into some difficulties, so I'm not sure when we'll actually get it. I've heard rumors that they're pushing it back to maybe even November, December of 2023. Hawkeye also did a pretty decent job of setting up Kingpin's arrival into the MCU, and I also greatly enjoyed the interactions between Kate Bishop and Yelena Belova. I also like the buddy cop vibe between Kate Bishop and Hawkeye. I enjoyed that. The enthusiastic new rookie teaming up with the old vet and getting on his nerves, yet somehow keeping his spirit alive. I think it's a nice holiday show to throw on for the kids. So coming in at number 2, Hawkeye. Number 1 is WandaVision. This is hands down to me the best Disney Plus MCU show. Everything felt in sync. The music, the clothes, the writing, everything felt cohesive. It was a creative, fresh spin with a bit of Stepford Housewives influence on it. This show was exactly what I thought it was going to be and exactly as advertised. It was weird, strange, mysterious. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but this show was based around grief, and grief was the literal through line for a lot of content in the MCU Phase 4. We started off here and ended with Wakanda Forever. Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Loki, Shang-Chi, Multiverse of Madness, Thor, Spider-Man, even the Guardian special all tackled different forms of mourning and dealing with loss. Watching Elizabeth Olsen grow with this character and slowly transform into probably the most powerful being in the MCU has been such a fulfilling journey to watch. Marvel has handled this character almost perfectly. The team for WandaVision deserves the credit for jumpstarting the MCU on Disney Plus, and what a way to start it. Twitter was on fire. We had theories of Magneto possibly showing up, or maybe even Reed Richards. It was a good time to be an MCU fan. I can talk on and on about the performances of this show. Tiana Parrish as Monica Rambeau, Darcy, Agent Woo, and last but definitely not least, Kathryn Hahn as Agatha Harkness. She was the wild card on the MCU board because I don't think they ever had an Agatha show on their list of potential projects. But I think Hahn's portrayal of Agnes catapulted Kevin Feige into saying, hey, let's rock with this. People love her. Let's give her a show. All the Mephisto theories we had, like as a group, I think we single-handedly manifested Mephisto into the MCU. We'll be seeing him in Ironheart later in 2023. Each episode having a different theme, meeting back up with Quicksilver, or walking through all the stages of grief and marriage was so well thought out. This show was wonderful. I can't speak enough high praises for it. Good job, Marvel, on this one. So those are my rankings for Phase 4 TV shows. Comment, subscribe, and peace out, homies. Have a good day.